talk now. This MMA, what we talking about? Yeah, you tuned into the pod now. Gonna be hard for you to stop now. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in.
Welcome back to another episode of Caged In. I'm your host, Chris DiCarlo. Got a very special guest making his debut on the show. It's Jeffrey Tooley. How we doing, my man?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing good, man. I know you're in the middle of fight camp right now. You got a big fight coming up in a couple weeks, so I appreciate you taking a little bit of time to come and talk to me, man.
Yep. No, thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. All right, man. You are 3-1 as an amateur right now. You are fighting at LFA 158 on April 21st. Let's get into your background a little bit since this is your first time on the show. Can you kind of talk about where you were born and raised and what growing up was like for you?
Yep. I was born in Bloomington, Illinois, raised in Downs. I went to Tri-Valley, a small town, small school in Downs up until fourth grade. And then I moved to Bloomington, went to elementary school there, and I was training throughout all of this. I started when I was 5
All
up
right.
until fifth grade. And fifth grade is when I got sick. I got diagnosed with cystic fibrosis. Typically, you're diagnosed when you're born, but I was born a year before the newborn screenings.
Mhm.
So I was a late diagnosis, and MMA is actually what saved my life. It made my lungs work. So I feel like I just have to dedicate my life to what saved it, if that makes any sense to you.
Yeah, for sure, 100%, man. Can you kind of talk about, like, I know that you were diagnosed with cystic fibrosis at a young age. Can you kind of just talk about that journey for you and kind of how that spills over into that mixed martial arts thing that you kind of you made the connection between the two, if you could?
Yeah. So growing up, not knowing, I just thought I was a normal person, just like everybody else.
Mm.
And my mom actually wanted to create or do something with the kids, and she had 4 boys, and she obviously couldn't play football.
Mhm.
So she got us all into kickboxing. A couple years later, she ended up owning the gym, and uh, being so active is what like made my lungs work. I
Mhm.
feel like I got out of the question, but can you repeat yourself? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I just was curious about, like, since you were diagnosed with cystic fibrosis so young, kind of, the journey through that, that time, man, and kind of how MMA kind of stepped in and like the connection between the two for you.
So, I mean, it didn't really step in me being sick and my mom having to close the gym to take care of me all the years, like going to the hospital in the hospital bed, just thinking about what I was doing. Before I got diagnosed, I got a spot on Team USA for the FILA Olympics for pancreation.
Mm.
And the week I was supposed to be in Guam, I was in the hospital instead. So
Yeah.
just like thinking about like where I could be, but instead I was laying in a hospital bed, that just made me so hungry. That's why, I mean, I made my debut not even 6 months ago yet, and I'm about to be fighting my fifth fight. So I feel like you can tell my hunger from that.
For sure, man. It's quite the story, man, and I'm glad that everything has worked out for you. How is everything going now? Like, I don't really know the ins and outs of cystic fibrosis, but like, are you past that point now where are you clean and
So,
clear and ready to go?
so I still have it. It's not a curable disease,
Hmm.
but with the medication I'm on, I'm stable enough to do it, and plus all the hard work I do at Peoria Athletic Club and McVickers, they push me so hard. I mean, there's no lung disease that if you work that hard, you're gonna have good cardio.
Right.
You know?
You mentioned that you were, active in kickboxing and all that stuff from a young age. Can you kind of talk about, how you got started in that and kind of where that's taken you and how that's kind of meshed into kickboxing and then transitioning into your journey into MMA?
So yeah, obviously, like I said earlier, my mom got me into kickboxing and stuff because she wanted to do something as a family,
Hmm.
and I think I started competing around 8 and stopped when I was 12. I had 13 wins and 3 losses as a kickboxer, and I think I was like 3-1 in pancration, 1-0 in boxing. and my goal was always to do MMA. It's just I could do MMA at that young, you know.
Right. So you go by the nickname Whiplash, man. Where'd the nickname come from?
Just shadow boxing. One of my mom's friends actually, she was just watching me and she said that she was gonna get whiplash just watching how fast my hands were going. So it just kind of stuck from there.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I like the nickname. I don't hear that one a lot, so it is unique. I
I
mess with it,
appreciate
man, for sure. Are you a fan of mixed martial arts as a whole? Like, do you watch the UFC and other promotions?
Yeah, I don't watch too much outside of the UFC unless if I know someone that's fighting.
Right.
I'll watch it, but yeah, I'm a huge UFC fan.
Any favorite fighters that you have?
Conor McGregor, Israel Adesanya, Jorge was one of them. He
Mhm.
obviously retired,
Right.
but I'd say Michael Chandler would be my third favorite.
Nice. There you go. Let's talk about your gym a little bit. I know you train over at Peoria Athletic Club. For those people that aren't familiar with your gym, can you just kind of describe the gym and like how the vibe is day in and day out over there?
We're a big family, man, and we work very, very hard. We've been to a couple big gyms, and I'm not gonna name them, but I feel like we've outworked them. We do outwork them from what we've seen. I've seen, anyways.
For sure. Do you cross train anywhere else, or is Peoria Athletic Club your just one
Yeah,
stop shop for
I
everything?
go to Mick Vickers, BJJ in Champaign. He also owns another school in Terre Haute, but he's one of the best BJJ practitioners American ever. He has so many accolades to him. It's I couldn't even name them.
For sure, for sure.
From
Let's talk.
19 times or something like that.
Damn, that's insane. Let's talk about your fight history a little bit, man. I know you're 3-1 as an amateur right now. In those 4 fights, man, where have you seen your growth the most from fight one to now going into fight five?
Well, so going in, I didn't know if my lungs would be able to take going the distance, but I've made it twice now, and I feel like I could go a 5 rounder no problem, honestly. But the biggest growth is just being more calm and seeing things better,
Mhm.
I think, and my footwork. The one loss I have was because I was backing up instead of using my footwork, going around, circling. I was getting backed up into the cage and got wrestle fucked. But
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. You do have that kickboxing background. How has transitioning from having that background into building a full mixed martial arts game, how's that transition been for you?
so I actually haven't had any kickboxing matches since I was 12, but I feel like just watching my debut compared to the other guy, I feel like I was a lot more calm. And I was in the back asking my coach if it was normal to like not be nervous. I was like causing myself to be nervous for not being nervous, if that
Right.
makes any sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just growing up, competing in front of people just made me calm, collected.
Yes. So that atmosphere of having the crowd
Yeah,
around you, watching you perform, that didn't really shake you at all.
yeah, no,
I mean, it is cool to have that background from such a young kid where you kind of grew up kind of used to it. So now when you get in there, it's just like another day for you.
yep, yep. That's literally how it feels. Just another day of sparring.
There you go, man. That's awesome. You did mention that one loss. They do say that, you take some lessons from your losses more than you do from your wins. So is there anything particular that you learned from that one loss that you have on your career?
Yeah, definitely to circle, use my footwork more. I definitely should have thrown a lot more leg kicks. Um, and just keeping my back off the cage. And when I got to the ground, I was too acceptive of the takedown and just having him like hold. I was trying to go up for submissions instead of trying to get up on my feet.
Right. Let's get into your
I
next
just
one,
can't
man.
accept the takedown.
For sure, for sure. LFA 157 coming up in a couple weeks, man. You're taking on Noah Gasho, who is 2-0. How'd this fight come about? When did you get the call from LFA about, stepping in there and taking on this kid?
So actually, huge shout out to Sean White. He reached out to me a couple days after Cage Aggression, and Noah Gasho fought the guy that I had just fought in Cage Aggression,
Hmm.
and Moy was giving it to him for 3 rounds, and then just got caught with a head kick on the way up from a wrestling scramble. So I feel like I'll just go in there and I don't know why, but I just have a real strong feeling in my gut that I'm gonna take him out early and make a statement.
Hell yeah, man. I love that. I love the energy. Looking at, have you had time to, watch the tape on this kid yet? And kind of how do you see his game breaking down from that film
So
study?
there's not anything on YouTube, so I've done a lot of digging on his Instagram, and I got a video from somebody, uh, and it was only like a 2-minute video, but it was Moy just working him on the ground.
Hmm.
So I feel like if he can't handle Moy's ground game, he's not gonna be able to handle mine if it even gets to the ground.
For sure. Where do you see yourself having the advantage in this matchup overall when you look at it on paper?
Stand up and ground game, it doesn't matter. I feel like I'm just the better fighter.
Perfect, man. Perfect. You did mention that common opponent that you had in Moy. You fought him, he fought him. Is
Yeah.
that something that helps during this kind of, film study period, getting to know your opponent? Is that something that kind of helps you as like a measuring stick?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say so, but I don't know if Moy fought me the same way he fought Noah. I
Mhm.
know that they grappled a lot more than we did, but on the grappling exchanges, from what I could see, Moy was winning. So I just feel like I'm more. It gives me a little bit more confidence knowing that Moy beat him for 3 rounds and then just got caught, and you can arguably say that I beat him all 3 rounds.
For sure, man. On April 21st, when the LFA cage door locks, what can the fans in the arena expect to see out of you, man?
A statement.
Oh yeah,
I'm trying to make a
going in there to
statement.
make a statement, man, huh?
Yep.
How do you feel like which part of your game do you expect to see, you know, put on the biggest show for these guys? Do you think it's
Really
gonna be
stand up.
the stand up you're gonna put on a show on the feet?
Yep.
Hell yeah,
Show 'em
man.
what Peoria Athletic Club's about.
There you go, man. That's what you gotta do, man. I'll be tuning in. LFA is a promotion that I do watch regularly, so it is available on Fight Pass, and I know they put the prelims on their other platforms. So I'll be now that I've sat here and talked to you about it, it's making me even more excited. So I'll definitely be tuning in and watching you go in there and do work, man.
Appreciate it. I'll put on a show for sure. That's
Of
one thing you can count on.
Hell yeah, man. I love to hear it. Before I get you out of here, I like to finish up with some like random fun questions. So we do
Yep.
that. I can get you out of here and let you go, man.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, let's go. Do you have any other hobbies or interests, outside of the fighting world?
Honestly, not really. If I'm not training, I'm just relaxing or at work.
There you go.
I really put my all into this.
Hell yeah, man. I love that
I don't
energy.
really have a plan B. I work at Arby's, so if this doesn't work, I guess I'll be working at Arby's until I'm 80.
Yeah. Hopefully not, man. Keep putting that work in. It'll work out for
That's
you for sure.
that's not gonna happen.
For sure.
But
What's your dream? Do you have like a dream travel destination that you love to go to?
Bora Bora,
Yeah. Anything?
um,
What's out there that you want to go see so bad?
just how beautiful the ocean is, and just have you ever seen the movie? Fuck, what's it called? Something's Retreat.
Oh, like couples retreat?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
have. I
yeah,
have.
yeah. That movie just got me hooked on Bora Bora. It just
For
looks beautiful
for
and
sure, man.
peaceful.
Of course. I love the beach atmosphere too, man. I kind of grew up. I'm on Cape Cod in Massachusetts, so I'm surrounded by beaches all over the place. I know you're over there, kind of
Yep.
landlocked a little bit, so maybe you don't have the luxury
Yeah,
of the ocean.
I'm I'm surrounded by cornfields,
Yeah,
and
well, a little different.
yeah.
Uh, do you have like a favorite animal that like you go to the zoo, like that's the one exhibit you got to stop at and see?
Mm, elephants and lions.
There you go. You can't go wrong there. Elephants are
Yeah,
crazy in person too, huh? With how big they are.
yeah.
It's insane.
They're
Uh,
giant.
favorite TV show, favorite movie, one or the other.
Favorite movie is probably Grown Ups,
Hmm.
and then my favorite TV show is probably Blue Mountain State.
Oh, that's a good
If
one.
you,
That's a good one too.
it's funny.
Funny story about Grown Ups, right? Uh, it was filmed in the town right next to me in
Oh,
Massachusetts. The water park scene where they go and like when Adam Sandler's on the thing, he does the
yeah,
backflip into the pool.
yeah.
If you put the thing on super slow mo, you could see me in the wave pool out there.
Oh,
Because
wow.
I showed up for the filming, so it's you gotta like you would I was super young, so you would never recognize me even if you did. But it's one of those things where I always tell people like I was in the movie Grown Ups. Isn't that cool?
That's lit. So you saw what's his face go into the. I mean, that probably wasn't real, but
Yeah, Adam Sandler, like that was like his stunt double that did the flip thing into the pool. But they were out filming over there for a couple weeks, so it was like first come first serve. Whoever got into the
that's
park was kind of like an extra running around the park, which is pretty cool.
that's-
It was dope, man. And you said favorite TV show, Blue Mountain State?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one too. I haven't seen that one in a while. I might have to run that one back. That's a
Well, they
classic.
took it off Netflix.
Oh no, I could
Yeah.
find it somewhere though. I bet
Yeah.
I could find it. I got my ways around the system. I could figure it out. All right, man. Well, I appreciate the time. April 21st, LFA, you're going in there to throw down, get that W, become 4-1. I appreciate the time, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you for
Anything
having
you
me.
want to say before I get you out of here? Any social medias or sponsors that you want to plug?
Yeah, John Graff Repairs, Soldiers with Tats, Meltdown Creative Works, Kitchen Buds, Josh Scott Fight Photography, and shout out to Pure Athletic Club and Mick Vickers BJJ.
Hell yeah, man.
My teammates and all my supporters. Love you guys.
There you go. That's awesome, man. I love to hear that. All right, bro. Thanks for the time. Best of luck on April 21st. Go get that
Thank
W,
you.
and
Yes, sir.
I'll be tuning in. So my man, go get it.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Down for the count and he can't even talk now. This MMA, what we talking about? Yeah, you tuned into the pod now. Gonna be hard for you to stop now. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in.